Hey, happy Monday, everyone. It's January 26, 2026. I'm Rich Tola, and here's what's cooking for today. How to age well with bad genes. That's all we're going to be talking about today. And I want to know what you guys are thinking about. What topic should I be talking about here? Go on and on about education, go on and on about fitness, go on and on about movies, right? But I had someone call me over the weekend, actually. And I said, well, give me some ideas. But first, guys, let me give a rest in peace. Well, you guys can put those in comments or let me know what you're thinking because I could talk about anything here. But I want to give a rest in peace. Shout out to Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. It was 6 years ago today, 2020. I'm sure you saw that news. He was 41 years old. Kobe was a legend, legendary player, legendary leader. 6 years ago today, it was a helicopter crash in California. I remember that very clearly. But he spent his entire 20-year career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Champion, pure champion. He won 5 NBA championships, 18-time All-Star, 4-time All-Star MVP, 15-time All-NBA team, 2 times inducted into the Hall of Fame as a player in 2020 and in 2025 as a member of the U.S. Olympic team from 2008. But here's a quote. I read this quote, got me thinking a lot. And he said this, Kobe Bryant, he said, it's the one thing you can control. You're responsible for how people remember you or don't. So don't take it lightly. He's talking about reputation. It's the one thing you can control. You're not responsible for how people remember you or don't, or you are actually. So don't take it lightly. That's right. Don't take your reputation lightly. So whatever it is that you're building, what legacy you have, keep it serious. All right, how about this? This is a congrats to this guy. Do you see this? Alex Honnold. He's a famous rock climber. I didn't know who he was until I watched his video. It's kind of sped up video, but it took him 90 minutes. It's called free soloing, scaling without ropes in Taiwan. The Taipei 101 skyscraper yesterday set a record for the tallest free solo of a skyscraper. He's a 40-year-old guy, father of 2. It's 1,667 feet tall. He did it in 90 minutes. I watched him do this. I'm not afraid of heights, but that's not something I would ever do. But you might go back to 2018. There was an Oscar-winning documentary which followed Alex and his successful attempt to become the only person to ever climb Yosemite, the infamous El Capitan, without ropes. I know all about that. I used to watch some of these rock climbing shows and talk about fearless. No doubt. You're climbing rocks, climbing buildings, no ropes. I mean, I think it's crazy, but hey, that's his legacy. That's how he wants to be remembered. Good for Alex. But go check it out. I thought it was kind of interesting. Again, you can watch that video. It's pretty special. Here we go. We're just talking about this today. I read this article twice. I said, let me go back and read it again. And, I'm all about the ABCs. I mean, how were your ABCs today? Awesome workout, blissful sleep, colorful diet. I mean, I did pretty good. I will say a lot of pain today, guys. A lot of pain. So I felt like I was out in the snow. What did we get? Like 12 inches of snow here in Indianapolis. You can't go anywhere. Trudging through the snow. That's what it felt like in my workout today. I mean, what do you do when you're plowing through the snow? You can't move fast. So I make it very purposeful. I slow everything down, kind of like I'm in slow motion. But I still have to get excited about it. I mean, that's what this is about. We're going to talk about how to age well with bad genes. But again, it's all about the ABCs. So what are you doing when you need to get through that workout that you're not feeling it? For me, I just keep going. I say, I have to get there. Then once I get there, it's sort of like a mental challenge. So I got to keep going with that. But it sort of ties into this concept of aging. What could I say? It's all about aging well. I believe that. If you could try to look 20 years younger, hey, why not? But let's talk about genes, genetic destiny, or your DNA. What is our genetic? They say it's written in our DNA, right? Everything that's found, DNA is found in every cell in your body. Every living cell has instructions on how to grow, how to develop, how to function. These are instructions, right? we can't change this, or so we think you can't change this. So did you ever hear that? Oh, he's got good genes, he's got bad genes. A lot of bodybuilders back in the day, this, well, I got good genes. That was something in my era. I don't know if they're talking about that now. What are these kids talking about? Did they even mention that? But anyway, what are bad genes? Are you predestined? Right? Increased risk of specific problems like cancer or heart disease. Hey, you could say, look at me. Both my parents died of cancer. Does that mean I'm going to inherit that gene, bad genes? I mean, I might, but it's not just that. It's about the environment. It's about the whole package, right? We talk about mind, body, spirit in the yoga world. Well, let me tell you, when it comes to genes, I think it's more than just what you're given. So does research. Research shows, this is from Stanford University, that genetics may influence between 25 and 30% of how we age. That's it. 25, 30%. Speaking of which, what are we, 26 days into the new year out of 365? That's about 7%. We're 7% into the new year. So what are you doing to improve upon your bad genes? Well, okay, this is a Stanford researcher, Lucia Aronica. All right, this is what she said. Said you are not just a passive reader of your genetic code, but an active writer of your health story every day with every choice. Read that again. You are not just a passive reader. It's not about being passive about your genetic code, but being an active writer, no doubt, of your health every single day. So you view your DNA as the computer hardware, but you can rewrite the software starting today. Every single day you wake up, you rewrite the software. I'm telling you, hey, I had a good sleep last night. I nailed it on that. Last couple of days, I've been able to kind of improve upon that, focused on that. The workouts, like I said, I get to the gym. I mean, if you can't get there, lay down on the side of your bed and just stretch, do some abs, get started simply. All right. Talking about DNA, though, there are these key nutrients that this is, again, Stanford research. Key nutrients are used to regulate your genes. All right. These are four of them: folate, that's leafy vegetables, legumes, liver; vitamin B12, you get that from meat and fish; choline, which is like egg yolks; and betaine, which is beets and wheat and things like that. But basically, what are we talking about? We're talking about the colorful diet: red foods, orange foods, brown foods, purple foods, and green foods, right? You got all those colors. It's a Mediterranean diet, really. Guys, look that up. What's a good Mediterranean diet? And it's been proven to rejuvenate your genes. That's right. It's been proven. It's beyond. Yeah, I like that. I like those. So the colorful diet: red, orange, brown, purple, and green. Go with the Mediterranean. There is proof there, so you guys could check that out. But here we go. It's beyond nutrition. I've been saying that. I've been saying that since I wrote this book, How to Drink from the Fountain of Youth. I'm going to read you something from that in a second. But anyway, we're talking about going beyond nutrition, right? So what does that mean? And this is, again, I looked this up with the Harvard study of adult development. All right. They tracked participants. They've been tracking them for more than 80 years. Right. And they arrived at this conclusion: the strongest predictor of healthy aging isn't diet or exercise alone, but rather the quality of relationships and presence of joy in your daily life. I like that. Presence of joy. Do you have joy in your life? Talk about that in my book. Laugh some, think some, cry some. Jimmy V did a speech, but it's beyond nutrition without a doubt. Movement, I think exercise for sure is a huge part of it. So we're looking at nutrition, exercise. Then there's stress, there's connections to others or to humanity. There's sleep, there's joy, there's toxin avoidance. Got to detox yourself from addictive and artificial pleasures. All right. So what's this all about, right? How do we age well, assuming we got these bad genes or we're predestined? So every chance you have for joy in your life, I don't know what I sound like now, but you got to go for it. That's why you got to make these workouts about joy. Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm happy every day going. I wasn't happy going today, but I find a little bit of joy in it every time I go. I'm smiling, I'm searching for it because it's got to be joyful. How about every meal? Learn to cook well myself. Again, shout out to my mom for doing that. I was never into food, never into making anything, but I approach every meal that way now. Got the egg whites, the kale. I found things that I'm joyful about, and I build them into my everyday routine when it comes to food. And the same thing with sleep. Got to be happy. You got to create the joy in it. Hey, if you're not a person who really likes to sleep, your body needs it. And again, every daily encounter, that's about connection, right? We need to have connection. You got to encounter with people, try to be positive. I had a great interaction today. I had to I didn't receive some tax information. So I called. The woman was super nice. I'm like, yes. I like when they ask you at the end, you mind doing it? I said, send it along, give you the 5 stars because it was a great experience. So every single day, every human being has an opportunity to rewrite their health story. Okay. The ABCs, remember, awesome workout, blissful sleep, colorful diet. It's all about the colorful diet, but you got to find joy in life, especially with your connections. All right, guys. So, what are you thinking about? Yeah, let me ask you that because it's easy for me to sit up here and talk. And by the way, check this out, right? I've been trying to lose a few pounds. That's not really working. Being trapped inside with this weather, I think I went nuts the last 2 days. Okay, I wrote down, what did I eat? Because how come I'm not cutting back on the pounds? I wanted to drop a few pounds, didn't do that. Well, guess what? When you're eating half a bag of pretzels, a can of salmon, love that. 1.5 sandwiches of peanut butter, man, too much peanut butter. So by writing it down, it gives me a chance to kind of go back and say, wait a minute here. Yeah, I didn't need to eat the whole thing as much as I did. Too much fruit, really. All right, I'm looking at it, but that's what you have to do. You have to be accountable somehow. But let me read this to you because if you get caught, and I like this because this is step 6, it's called never say I can't. Because we hear that a lot. All right, I want to read you this. This is from my book, How to Drink from the Fountain Youth 30 Steps to Everlasting Youth, because I believe anyone can. Here we go. There's not a week that goes by without me hearing this ridiculous phrase, I can't. And yes, it is ridiculous because who says you'll never be able to do whatever it is you're talking about? Whether it be the high school students who say they can't read or write or solve complex math equations, or the adults who say they can't lose weight or exercise more, or the elderly folks who say they can't learn how to search the internet on a computer or a smartphone because they're too set in their old school dinosaur ways. Seems that everyone has something they cannot do. You can do it, no matter what it is. You emphatically say you can't do. Stop saying that because you can. Never say I can't and believe that everything is in the realm of possibility because it is. At the risk of sounding redundant, let me say this again. Stop saying I can't because why not? And who's to say it can't ever be done? Look at this guy climbs a skyscraper with no ropes. Especially if you focus all your energies on doing something you really want to accomplish and never give up. What about the little something called mind over matter? Yes, it may seem like another pie in the sky concept, but everyone knows that when it comes to anything challenging in life, go to your mind because your infinitely powerful mind will conquer all things. Easier said than done, right? Wrong. Because everything in life is a function of time and energy. That's right. Time and energy. If you put the time in, and exert an unfathomable amount of energy, you will get it done. Maybe not get it done exactly how or when you originally imagined it would, but it will get done. And yes, unfathomable is a very strong and rather excessive word, but oftentimes necessary because sometimes a tremendous amount of energy is required to accomplish the most difficult of tasks, especially when it really seems far out or impossible. And I believe that no matter what it is, right? If it's about the weight, if it's about the workout, these are simple things, guys. They really are. Set your mind to it, find the joy in it, focus on it, and do it. All right, guys. That's it for today. Have an awesome time. Be careful digging out of the snow if you're one of those like I am. And as always, get your workout in. Peace.